The last domain that we cover is reasoning. Now, this is the kind of domain that doesn't get enough attention anywhere else in a systematic manner. So the reasoning domain encourages lateral thinking in children, and it helps them apply math in their day-to-day life.
Right.
The unique aspects of reasoning are that we'll focus on the approach rather than the final answer. Now, this is very different from what we're used to as math. If your answer is correct, you're correct. If not, you're not.
Right.
But here, we'll focus on the approach. Again, this is done using puzzle cards like these. So after each class, she'll actually bring one of these cards and you can help her solve this.
Okay.
To help you understand, let's just... Yes, of course.
So she'll get one card per class.
One card per class, and you can even help her solve this. Now, there's a reason this is done outside of class. She'll have time till the next class to actually solve them.
Okay.
If you look at an example, I think you'll understand. So in this example, she has 4 locks and 4 keys, but she doesn't know which lock belongs to which key.
Okay.
The question is, what is the maximum number of times you need to try the locks to match all 4 keys to their locks?
Okay.
All right. Would you want to try it?
Sure, why not?
Sure.
The first key will go into 4 locks. The second one into 3 locks. 2 and then 1. So is 10 the answer if we add all of those?
You're sort of close, actually. But there's just one thing here. So the approach that you took, we'll take a similar approach and we'll say she takes the first key, tries it on the first lock, doesn't work. Tries it on the second lock, doesn't work. Tries it on the third lock, doesn't work. Does she have to try it on the 4th lock to actually know that that's the match?
Oh, I see.
No, right?
Okay.
So when 3 tries, she'll be able to match 1 lock to 1 key.
Right.
So now that leaves us with 3 locks and 3 keys. So that will leave her 2 tries.
2 tries.
And the last 2 she'll figure out in 1 try. So instead of 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, it's actually just 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6 tries.
Got it.
Right? Yeah. Let's look at another example since you tried that. So we have a bar of chocolate that has, individual pieces like the old Cadbury's chocolates that we used to have.
Right.
So now she is going to be asked to break them into single individual pieces, 1 by 1 pieces.
Okay.
And she needs to know how many steps are required to break this bar of chocolate into 1 by 1 blocks.
Okay.
Here, let's say it's a 6 by 4, but let's say I ask you it's m by n. There are m vertical lines and n horizontal lines. It's sort of, the number is not known.
Right.
And there are some additional conditions as well, that she can break it only horizontally or vertically, and she can not break more than 2 pieces at once.
Okay.
So if that's the case, how many breaks would she need? So if we took 6 by 4, you can take 6 by 4 and see how many she'd need.
Okay, so if we take 6 by 4, in that case, 6, 5 times she'll break the horizontal part, and so maybe m into n.
Close. So let's actually take a smaller example. Let's take a 3 by 2 instead of 6 by 4.
Okay.
All right. So she'll need 2 breaks to break these horizontally. So that's 2. And for each of these, she'll need 1.
Right.
So while you were right on the m into n, what you missed is that it's actually
1 break lesser.
1 break lesser, exactly. So now if it were a small piece, like it was 6 by 4, it was 2 by 3, she can actually count.
Right.
But if we say m by n, she'll need a model to actually figure that out. Right? So she'll actually figure out that it is m times n minus 1. So these are kinds of problems that she might not have seen before, that she won't have a formula to immediately apply, she may not be aware. So even if she's seeing a problem for the first time, through this reasoning domain, through these puzzles, we want to make sure that she's able to find an approach to solving these problems. And this is why she brings them home, because this cannot be done in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Like you finished it in a few minutes, but she might need longer, and that's perfectly okay. So it needs that unstructured time to actually think through problems.
Yeah. Just a question here. I'm pretty good in math myself. I used to think so, but I can see these problems are a little challenging, right? So let's say if she's not able to solve a few of those problems, will it not affect her, confidence? And will you give her answers if she gets some questions wrong? How do you approach,
That's actually a very good question. So for these problems, like I mentioned, you can help her, but don't give her the answer.
Okay.
Even if she doesn't get it by the next class, even I won't give her the answer.
Okay.
I'll look at her approach and see if the approach was actually quiet, if she was close, and then we'll decide whether the answer is acceptable.
Right.
But if it's not, I'll just give her a different puzzle. And by me, I don't mean myself. The Cuemath system will actually assign her a different puzzle card for her ability as well.
Okay.
We won't reveal the answer because we want children to recognize that they can solve these on their own.
Okay.
After a few different cards, she might actually get the same puzzle again. And if she's able to solve it then, she'll actually know that she's built that skill over time.
Okay.
And that kind of feeling that she can do it if she tries, that effort is important, approach is important, is what we will build through these things.
Okay.
We will not tell her that she got something wrong. We'll tell her that she hasn't gotten it right yet.
Right.
This is called a growth mindset, and this is something we inculcate in all our children. So don't worry about her feeling discouraged,
Sure.
but she'll actually become more confident when she's approaching such problems.
Right.
Even when faced with a new problem, she'll know that she can figure something out.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And that's very important for us. So like I said, this domain fosters deep thinking, figuring out new ideas and approaches to problem solving. It encourages collaboration with parents and siblings, because in real life, it's perfectly fine to ask for help and the right kind of help.
Okay.
And it gives her the freedom to think creatively. She doesn't have to focus on a single answer. She can actually focus on different approaches, and that's completely acceptable. And she does all of this in unstructured time while taking help as she needs. Are you aware of any other program that covers these domains in such a manner?
Not really. I think these are very different things from what I expected, from a math program.
Okay. So like you mentioned, she'll have increased confidence and she'll be building a strong math foundation through these things.